In my previous videos in this series, I talked about the importance of taking a slow and somewhat methodical process to changing your habits and creating a healthier lifestyle around the types of goals and desired outcomes that you have. And the reason that I believe that the Maslow's hierarchy of needs structure is important and why these videos have actually been structured along that same framework is because just like as in his framework, there are some basic needs that we all have, and that in order for us to be able to progress into the next stage of our evolution to eventually get to the top of the pyramid, which is self-actualization, and in this case, I labeled it as mentorship because then we're really achieving our highest purpose, which I believe is to be in service for others, so that we can take all the things that we've learned along our path and our journey and all the negatives or pain and ups and downs that we had to go through and be able to help somebody make their process and their path more easy based on the experiences that we had along the way, to try to shorten their learning curve as much as possible. And even aside from that, because it's not always just going to be totally linear, to be able to provide the type of motivation and encouragement that everybody needs and wants. And coming from somebody who has had that experience and knows what it's like and can tell somebody that it's going to get better, or if you do these things and have patience, good things will come. And so in order to get to that highest stage of the self-actualization and the mentorship where you're really living a purpose-filled life, you have to start with the base layer, and you have to be able to really own and have full control over the most basic needs first. And in these videos, I talked about how the foundational phase is important because those habits that you're building in that phase are going to lay the foundation for all these other changes that you're going to make. And so in these later stages is when you're really going to be at a point where you are in the position to finally achieve your goals that you've been working towards. And this may take years to get to, depending on how big your goals were. For sure, it's going to take half a year to a year to really be able to get close, especially if your goals are bigger, whether it's weight loss or gaining muscle or just, again, creating a healthier lifestyle overall. These things take time to not only implement and be consistent with, but for our body to also have the types of responses that we're looking for. Even if this is coming from being in a sick or diseased state, or some problems that people have that are somewhat autoimmune related, your body needs the time to not only recover but heal, to get back to a state of no longer being stressed out all the time. And so again, being able to start with the base layer and get those really nailed down, you can't progress to the next stage until that's in place. And that's why I talked about the next stage being now finally starting to change, whether it's your diet or how much you're exercising, because those couple things will just add stress as well. And so if you're not doing the necessary components to manage that stress before adding on more stress, I always think of those situations, especially when you're trying to move too fast with whatever it is, exercise, fitness, even rehab related, is like driving down the street with the gas and the brake on at the same time. I mean, you're moving in the direction that you want, but it's not efficient, and there's more stress that's being created along that process rather than it just being as smooth as possible. And so moving through those stages smoothly and slowly give you the best chance of sticking with it long term and doing it in a way that's minimizing as much of the negative stress as possible. And when you get to these higher stages and you have that experience of going through the process, you have a better idea of being able to help the next person along. And at that point, you'll have seen the value in taking things slow. Lessons are always much more easy to realize looking back than they are in the moment. And you're never going to get all of those lessons if you don't follow it all the way through. And the best chance of you following it all the way through is to be successful in each of these stages of progression. And I think the most fulfilling part about that is not only the pride that you feel in yourself for having put in the work and to stay committed to yourself, but the fact that when somebody does ask you, how did you change? Because I think we all have a unique experience and we all have a unique voice. And sometimes people just need to hear it from you because of the way that you say certain things or the way that your experience had played out along your journey. Because there's always going to be some factors about your life and your journey that completely resonates with somebody. And with that being said, I hope this message resonates with you. And if you've made it this far, thank you for watching the video. And remember, the only way you fail is if you quit. So even if things are getting hard, there is a purpose for it. And you're gonna see a result at the end, and you will be rewarded for it. So stick to it and realize that the pain and the struggle is for a good reason. And it's for not only your benefit, but others as well. And you'll see it eventually. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.